Hello everyone, welcome back to Archangel RC. As promised, in this video I will show you how I set up the ArkBird VTOL plane as a tailsitter in ArduPlane, and you will see just how easy and simple it is. Keep in mind that this would in no way be an all-in-one guide to ArduPlane. That will probably be a separate video. In this one, I will quickly show you how you can do the calibrations and setup to get the ArkBird or a plane of a similar tailsitter design and configuration set up and ready to go. And please watch the whole video before asking questions, and also keep in mind that this is probably the simplest VTOL you can build, requiring the least amount of output channels on a flight controller, so this could work for other boards that support the full ArduPlane firmware, not only the Matek F765 wing. Before we get started, I'm going to assume that you already have your Matek F765 wing board or other flashed with the ArduPlane firmware, and just in case you're not sure how that works, it is pretty much the same as for the F405 wing, a video of which I already have and can be found here or by searching my channel. This process would work the same for a host of other boards as well, so make sure you check it out. I will be doing a how-to video on the F765 wing, but that is yet to come, so refer to the F405 wing video if needed. So, you have your board, it is flashed with the ArduPlane firmware, connect it to your computer, go into Mission Planner and hit the connect button. After it loads the params, first thing I like to do is the accelerometer calibration. Please refer to the F405 wing video on how to do it. I do this first of all on a level surface before I put it in the plane. Following that, you need to go to the config tab and then the full parameter tree sub-tab, and then scroll down until you reach the Q parameter. It will have three options: disabled, enabled and auto. I have no idea what auto is about, but enter one into the box, write the parameters and power cycle the board. Once you connect it back up, go back to the full parameter tree, find the Q parameter, and this time there will be a plus next to it. Click on it to expand it, and here are all of the VTOL parameters you would need, and in fact VTOL functionality is now enabled on your board. Now, here is the shocker in all of this. I changed only one parameter here before the maiden flight. Yes, you heard that right. Only one parameter needs to be adjusted before you are ready to do a VTOL flight. I am not going to go into detail about all of these parameters. You can read anything you need in the ArduPlane VTOL wiki, a link to which I will leave in the description below. So scroll down until you get to QFrame type and QFrame class parameters. The QFrame type parameter was set to 1 by default, so you can leave it as is, but the QFrame class needs to change to 10, which is the tailsitter type. After you make that change, write the parameters and you're pretty much ready with the VTOL setup for an initial hover. Yes, it is that easy, but again, and this is very important, this setup is only for a plane of the configuration and type as the ArkBird is. For a different kind of VTOL configuration, these settings will be different. In any case, I would strongly urge you to go and read the wiki on the ArduPlane website thoroughly, so you can gain an understanding of what is happening and how these things work. This video can get you started, but otherwise you'd still have no idea what you're doing or how this works. So, as already mentioned, this is pretty much all you need to change here to get going, but after the first few flights I changed two more parameters, and if you scroll down you should see the Q tailseat angle parameter. This is the angle at which the plane will go from VTOL to forward flight when you change modes. So, as it is hovering vertically, when you switch to a forward flight mode, the plane will start to swing down as it is picking up speed, and when it reaches 70 degrees from that vertical position, it will sort of snap down to a horizontal position and finish the transition. As far as I can tell, this works the same in transitioning from a forward flight to VTOL as well, so with this parameter you are changing the angles for both modes. By default, this was a lower number, so basically the plane would swing forward a smaller amount and then do a larger snap, causing more shaking and not looking nearly as smooth as when I put it at 70 degrees, so I'm pretty happy with this number. A bit further down from this parameter is the Q transition ms parameter, which determines the duration of the transition, and initially this was set to 2000 milliseconds, which is 2 seconds, but it was too short for my liking, so I changed it to 5000 milliseconds or 5 seconds, along with the angle value in the previous parameter to give me a much smoother transition. Keep in mind that during the transition, stick movements will have no effect on the plane. You have no control. Once the transition is done, you will get back control of the plane. So, all in all, 3 parameters could be adjusted prior to flight, 1 mandatory and 2 optional, at least until your first flight, so you can determine if they need adjusting. It is that simple. And before you ask, apparently you can select Auto Tune for plane mode and Q Auto Tune for VTOL modes, but I've not tried those out yet, so that might be a separate video altogether. And another piece of information, all the PID parameters for the VTOL modes can be changed from the Q parameter tree in the full parameter list section, while all plane PID parameters can be adjusted from the basic tuning tab. Next step would be installing the flight controller in the plane, wire everything together, and then do the rest of the calibrations. Calibrating the ESCs, radio, and setting up the failsafe I've already described in the F405 wing video, so again, make sure you check it out. For setting up the OSD, I'd also refer you to that F405 wing video, as well as for the battery monitor settings, the only difference being that some values for that have been provided by Matek on their website for the F765 wing, so put them in the respective fields in the full parameter tree section, not in the battery monitor section under initial setup. As far as flight modes go, I use a 3-position switch for that, so I only use 3 modes. If you have a mix between 2 switches, you can use up to 6 modes, or if you have the rotary 6-position switch, that would also allow the use of 6 modes, so how you set that up would be up to you. The servo output tab deserves some attention because here you will have to mix the elevons properly as well as map the motors properly. For the elevons, just use a mix of these checkboxes and swapping their places to get them to move in the correct direction. With the plane powered on, switch to fly-by-wire A and start shaking the plane around to see which way it stabilizes in, and then use the checkboxes and possibly switch places for the servos to get the control surfaces to work in the correct way for stabilizing a plane to level. Once done, go to manual mode and check to see if your commands are accurate. If not, reverse them from the radio only. As for the motors, since a VTOL of this type requires differential thrust, you need to set them as throttle right and throttle left respectively, so assign those to the outputs where you have the motors connected. You would need to power cycle the flight controller to see the changes on this type though. Good news is this would also work in plane mode and is controlled via the rudder stick to give you rudder-like differential motor control. Quite convenient. Now, since a VTOL does spend some time hovering in one place with no forward speed in any direction, you can no longer calculate direction by using the GPS only like you can on a regular plane, so a compass will be needed. Make sure you mount it as far away from battery, power cables, ESCs or any other sort of electromagnetic interference to make sure it will work okay. For best results, the calibration of the compass needs to be done last and only once you are at the flying field, away from sources of interference, which includes cars, phones, etc. A telemetry unit would make that process a whole lot easier, as you won't have to deal with cables while doing the compass dance. So this pretty much concludes this video, and I hope it has been detailed enough for most of you out there, especially when you pair it with the ArduPlane VTOL wiki and my F405 wing setup video. You should be good. I hope you can see how easy it was to set all of this up and doesn't take a lot of time either. Links for all items shown and used can be found in the description below, and buying literally anything through them would support this channel at no additional cost to you, and you will have my eternal gratitude as this is my full-time job. Another way you can support me is Patreon. The link is also there, and I would like to say a big thank you to all the people who have supported me so far in any way, and would continue to do so. If you have enjoyed this video and found it useful, please feel free to like, share and subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit that bell button so you can be notified when I upload a new one. Also, consider following me on Facebook. Happy and safe VTOLing, and I will see you in the next one.